Welcome everyone. In this webinar, I will talk about spatial arrangement. Some of you might be in the middle of taking the UEB Braille course. I have tried to make this presentation easier to understand by adding examples. And don't be alarmed if you find my presentation too colorful. If you have any question, please write down the slide number and the question on the chat window. I'll try to answer them in the question and answer session. Focus of this webinar is: when is spatial arrangement used? Spatial arrangement in addition, spatial arrangement in subtraction, spatial arrangement in multiplication, spatial arrangement in division, cancellation in spatial arrangement, and formatting in spatial arrangement. When is spatial arrangement used? Spatial arrangement is used with material arrayed on more than one line in print, as in addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and matrices. Let's look at the rules for spatial arrangement. You can find these rules in section 4.1 of the UEB Guidelines for Technical Material. The line above and below spatial calculation should either be blank or should only contain the numeric passage indicator or terminator. Align numeric indicator vertically. Columns to be added should only contain numerals or omission symbols. Use the numeric passage indicator and the numeric terminator for a series of spatial problems. For some lines and other horizontal lines, use horizontal line mode, dots 5, 2525. Horizontal lines are as wide as the longest item to which they apply. Blank lines with spatial arrangement. One blank line must be left above and below a spatial arrangement, even when it directly precedes or follows the line indicating a new ink print page. If a running head is used, a blank line must be left between it and the spatial arrangement. No blank line is required if the spatial arrangement begins at the top or ends at the bottom of the Braille page if a running head is not used. Note, the blank line can be replaced with the numeric passage indicator or terminator. Let's look at numeric passage indicator and numeric terminator. Dots 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6 is numeric passage indicator. Dots 3, 4, 5, 6 and dot 3 is numeric terminator indicator. Use a numeric passage and terminator for a series of spatial problems. Numeric passage indicator set numeric mode and grade 1 mode for the enclosed text. Numeric indicator followed by a space still initiates numeric mode. Repeat individual numeric indicators for each question number, even within a numeric passage. In a numeric passage, any lowercase letter A to J is preceded by a grade 1 symbol indicator. Use of numeric passage reduces the number of symbols needed for a spatial problem and can simplify the process of aligning the pieces of a problem. Let's look at some of the examples. In this example, solve each problem is in cell 1 because it is an instruction before an itemized material, followed by numeric passage indicator in cell 1. Since this has series of spatial problems, I am using numeric passage indicator. Followed on the next line is the item number. Notice that numeric indicator is added before number 1. It's followed by a blank line. Blank line is required before a spatial arrangement, followed by sub-items. Sub-item A is in cell 3. Grade 1 symbol indicator is added before lowercase a, b, c, and d. Grade 1 symbol is dots 5, 6. At the end of sub-item is numeric passage terminator, which is in cell 1. I don't align sub-items in 2 columns as in print. I prefer to align them vertically one after another. Let's look at spatial arrangement in addition and subtraction. In a spatial arrangement for addition and subtraction, use horizontal line mode where horizontal lines are shown in print. The numeric symbols, the corresponding digits, commas, decimal points, fractions, abbreviations, and interior signs of operation or comparison must be vertically aligned with digits under digits, commas under commas, decimal points under decimal points, fractions under fractions, abbreviations under abbreviations, signs of operation under signs of operation, signs of comparison under signs of comparison. For single-digit addition or subtraction problem in a numeric passage, begin the horizontal line one cell to the right of the signs of operation with one-digit numbers starting one more cell to the right so that the column above the dot 5 of the horizontal line is empty. Let's look at some examples. In item 1, 8 minus 3 is followed by horizontal line. All the numerals are vertically aligned. Horizontal line starts one cell to the right of the operation sign. Minus sign does not have dot 5, 2525 below it. Horizontal line is extended as long as the digits above or below it. In item 2, dollar sign and decimal are vertically aligned. A blank cell is needed before 3 so as to align it with the digits above. You can have a space after numeric indicator. Numeric mode is maintained when a numeric indicator is followed by a space. In an algebraic expression, all the variables, numerals, and signs of operation within the expression are aligned vertically, as shown in number 3. Let's look at the same examples with numeric passage indicator and numeric terminator indicator. Numeric passage indicator is in cell 1 on line 1. Notice that the item number 1, we have numeric indicator before the numeral. For single digit addition and subtraction, we leave blank cell above dot 5 of the horizontal line. We use numeric terminator at the end of series of problem on a line by itself. When abbreviation occur in spatially arranged addition and subtraction, they are vertically aligned. In the example, notice pound is vertically aligned, ounce is vertically aligned. Similarly, when we use numeric passage indicator, we will align abbreviations vertically. In a spatial addition or subtraction arrangement containing fractions, the simple numeric fraction line must be vertically aligned. The corresponding parts of fraction indicator must be vertically aligned. The whole number parts of mixed numbers must be vertically aligned. In this example, notice that simple numeric fraction lines are aligned. Denominator and numerators are aligned. Similarly, in a mixed fraction addition, simple numeric fraction line is aligned and whole number are aligned. Addition and subtraction in polynomials. In addition and subtraction of polynomials, each term, including its sign of operation, coefficients, letters, superscript, subscripts, must be vertically aligned. In this example, variable x is aligned in all rows. Superscript and signs of operations are also aligned. Carried numbers with addition. When print uses a tiny number to carry a value, place that carried number on the line above the column to which it belongs and align by place value. The number then becomes one more entry to be added within that column. In this example, carryover number 1 is above the main calculation and is on its own row and column. Let's check out cancellation in subtraction problem. Dots 4, 1, 5, 6 is an indicator for line through previous item. Use line through previous item indicator for cancellation. Line through previous item indicator is shown after the affected term. When using line through previous item indicator to reproduce prints crossing out, use Braille grouping indicator as necessary. Align digits as in print. The carried number is aligned over its cancelled number by place value. In this example, notice how cancellation line is on its own column and all the digits are aligned vertically. Let's look at cancellation in fractions. We can transcribe it in two ways. In a spatial arrangement, we will arrange fractions spatially. We don't need opening and closing fraction indicators. Transcribe denominator below numerator as in print. Using numeric passage indicator makes it less complicated. Dots 5, 2, 5, 2, 5 for horizontal line. Horizontal line is as long as the used Braille cell above and below it. Dots 4, 1, 4, 6 is used for cancellation line. Center the Braille cells in the numeric indicator. Center the Braille cells in the numerator and denominator. Another way to transcribe this example is in linear way, using opening and closing fraction indicators. Let's look at types of omission used in print in a spatial problem. For shapes that indicate omission, if there is one shape, example a rectangle or a square, follow print. If there are multiple shaped omission, example an empty rectangle for each of the missing digit, use the visible space. For non-shape omission, such as asterisk, as a guided principle, if print alignment can be reasonably reproduced in Braille, then follow print for the sign used to indicate omission. If print alignment cannot be reasonably reproduced in Braille, use a visible space for each printed object that indicate omission. For single omission shape, follow print with appropriate Braille symbol. Let's look at the example for single omission shape. In print, one rectangle is used for missing digit. In Braille, Braille symbol for rectangle is used. Grade 1 symbol .56 is required before the shape indicator. Circle is used in print. Corresponding Braille symbol for circle is used. Grade 1 symbol is required before the circle. Dots 3, 4, 6 is a visible space symbol. Use the visible space symbol for each of the missing digits shown by a shape. In the following example, square and a circle is used as a sign of omission in print. In item A, visible space symbol is used for each of the square. Similarly, in B, visible space symbol is used for each of the circle in print. Notice that we are not using Braille symbol for rectangles and circles in these cases. Use the visible space symbol for each of the missing digits shown by a non-shape omission. In this example, asterisk and question mark are shown as an omission in print. In Braille, visible space symbol is used for asterisk. You can use question mark Braille symbol in this case, as print alignment can be reasonably reproduced in Braille. Blank for missing answer. An expression with blank space to indicate a missing sum, quotient, product, differences, etc. does not need a visible space. When an answer is simply missing, use no symbol for the empty area. In this example, no symbol is used for the missing answer below horizontal line symbol. A blank line is left after the horizontal line symbol and before the next item. Let's look at spatial arrangement for multiplication. Separation line in a multiplication problem can be of different lengths. If a comma or a decimal point appears in the answer of a multiplication arrangement, the corresponding cells in the partial products above it should be left blank. When print uses a tiny number to show the tens value of a two-digit product being carried, insert the tiny number on the line above and align columns for calculation. Align the numbers in the product as done in addition. If a dollar sign, comma, and a decimal point is shown in the answer, leave a blank space above so that all the numbers are aligned. In this example, the green number above the multiplicand and multiplier doesn't need a column of its own. Let's look at spatial arrangement in division and using 4.1 of the UEB guidelines for technical material. Use a numeric passage for spatial division. The spaced vertical line segment dots 4, 5, 6 can be used to represent the curved or straight line used in print. The dividend and the partial products and differences must be aligned as in print. The quotient must also be aligned with the dividend. Separation lines in a division problem can be of different lengths. When comma, decimal point, or carets occur in a dividend, Corresponding blank cells should be left throughout the body of the division, except in the separation line. Use dots 4, 5, 6 for vertical line for curved or straight line in a division. Use dots 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5 for the horizontal line. Leave a blank cell before and after the vertical line segment. Horizontal line is as long as the digits below. Answer dividend, answer dividend, partial products, and quotient are all vertically aligned. Horizontal line can be of different lengths. Matrices. Matrix is a set of entries arranged in rows and columns so as to form a rectangular array. Multi-line grouping symbols are used in Braille for enlarged grouping sign in print. Refer to Section 5 of UEB Technical Guidelines. Within each arrangement, each entry must be left justified except for minus sign. One column of blank cells should be left between columns. Material outside the matrix, such as signs of operation and comparison, should be placed on the top line, even if they are centered in print. Use dots 6, 5, 1, 2, 6 for multi-line opening round parentheses. Use dot 6, 5, 3, 4, 5 for multi-line closing round parentheses. Equal sign outside the matrix is on the top line. All the numbers are left aligned except the minus sign. Multi-line opening and closing round parentheses is required to be repeated in each row. Let's look at formatting of spatial arrangement in an itemized material. Place identifier or item number as follows. In addition, place the item number with the origin. In subtraction, place the item number with the minuend. In multiplication, place the item number with the multiplicand. In division, place the item number with the divisor and the dividend. In all cases, there must be one column of blank cells between the identifier and the leftmost symbol of the arrangement, including separation lines. Place the identifier or item number where the calculation begins. Note that carried over number is not on the line with the item number. Note that item number is starting on the line where calculation begin. It's not starting at 9, it's starting with the line where calculation begins. Similarly, in multiplication, the item number is in line with the multiplicand. Item number is not with the carried over number as shown in item number 3 here. Item number is in line with the divisor and dividend. In this example, notice that item number is not in line with the answer. Let's summarize what we have gone through in this webinar so far. Above and below each spatial arrangement, the Braille line should be either blank or contain numeric passage indicator or numeric terminator. Use a numeric passage for a series of spatial problems. Repeat individual numeric indicator for each question number, even within a numeric passage. Columns to be added or subtracted should only contain numerals or omission symbols. An individual numeric indicator can be followed by a space and still turn on numeric mode. For shapes that indicate omission, for one single shape, follow print. For multiple shapes, use visible space. In single-digit addition problems, the column above dot 5 should be left empty. For some lines and other horizontal lines, use horizontal line mode. For cancellation in subtraction problem, use line through previous item indicator and align digits as in print. For division, use vertical line segment indicator for a curved or straight printed line. Place identifiers on the braille line where calculation begins. UEB guidelines for technical material was used for making this webinar. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this webinar helpful. If you have any question regarding Braille, transcription, Braille software, or tactile software, you can contact us at transcription@prcvi.org.